Enhypen have just wrapped the US leg of their Walk the Line World Tour, closing it all out with a massive finale in Los Angeles. And if you've been following their journey, you know this wasn't just another K-pop tour stop. This was a full circle moment, from their viral Coachella breakthrough earlier this year to sold out arenas across New York, Chicago, Houston, and finally a stadium show in LA. And Hyphen went from festival curiosity to a dominant fourth gen force on the global stage. So, how did Enhypen turn the buzz of one festival slot into a full US tour packed with sold out shows? What made their LA finale so special? And what does this tell us about Enhypen's future as one of K-pop's global leaders? Here's the big question for today. With their tour behind them, is Enhypen now the strongest fourth-gen contender in the West? Or do they still have more to prove outside the US? Let's break it all down. The story starts in April at Coachella 2025. Enhypen stepped on stage not as rookies trying to grab attention, but as one of the most anticipated acts of the festival. The media spotlight was on them, and they delivered. Their performance made headlines everywhere. The custom Prada cowboy core looks, the mix of dark vampire concept with desert festival energy, and their flawless execution made them one of the breakout stories of the weekend. But the real statement came when they performed Loose, their first full English single. This wasn't just a treat for international fans, it was a strategic move. Singing in English at Coachella positioned Enhypen not as outsiders bringing Korean music, but as pop artists entering the mainstream conversation. Clips of the performance went viral across TikTok and Twitter. For thousands of casual festival goers, this was their introduction to Enhypen, and it stuck. That Coachella debut was the ignition switch. Suddenly, Enhypen weren't just a group with strong album sales in Korea and Japan, they were the group to watch in the US. Just months later, Enhypen announced the US leg of their Walk the Line World Tour. The timing couldn't have been better. They struck while the Coachella buzz was still alive. The tour kicked off at New York's UBS Arena, with over 18,000 fans filling the venue. Reviews called the show electric, highlighting their set list that mixed old fan favorites with new tracks from Desire Unleash. Jay even brought out a guitar for a rock-driven moment, adding variety and surprising fans. From there, they hit major cities like Chicago and Houston, each time selling out large venues. And then came the finale in Los Angeles, the biggest stage of all, the BMO Stadium. More than 20,000 fans packed the stadium to see Enhypen close the chapter. The atmosphere was insane. Glowing light sticks, synchronized fan chants, and an energy that carried from start to finish. Adding to the hype, Spotify hosted a special fan event called Maison Enhypen in LA, designed with vampire-themed decor to match the group's concept. It gave fans a chance to connect with the group in a more intimate way before the finale, and it added to the sense that this wasn't just a tour stop, it was a celebration. The LA finale mattered for several reasons. First, it was proof that Enhypen can carry momentum across the entire US, not just one or two cities. Filling a stadium in LA, one of the most competitive live music markets in the world, is a huge stamp of legitimacy. Second, it showed their ability to turn buzz into sustainability. Plenty of K-pop groups have had viral festival moments. Not all of them can then sell out arenas across multiple states within the same year. Enhypen proved they could. Third, it gave fans one of the most memorable nights of the year. The finale featured expanded set lists, encore moments that stretched longer than usual, and emotional speeches from the members about what this US leg meant to them. Clips of Jake tearing up and Sunghoon thanking fans went viral immediately after the show, reinforcing the emotional bond between Enhypen and Enjin. The tour was powered by Enhypen's most recent release, Desire Unleash. The mini-album had more than 2 million pre-orders and debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 with massive US sales. Songs like XO, Criminal Love, and Fatal Trouble gave the group fresh material that sounded incredible live. What impressed critics was how they balanced their vampire dark concept with mainstream accessibility. The staging leaned into cinematic visuals, red smoke, gothic sets, and synchronized choreography, while the songs still hit with pop hooks that casual listeners could latch onto. They didn't water down their concept for the US market. Instead, they leaned into it and made it work. That blend of artistry and strategy is what makes Enhypen unique. They know who they are and they know how to package it for a global stage. So, where does this put Enhypen in the bigger fourth gen conversation? Stray Kids have been dominating US album sales and Billboard records. New Jeans have been rewriting digital streaming history worldwide. And now Enhypen have staked their claim in the live performance lane, proving they can sell out arenas and stadiums in one of the toughest markets. Together, these groups show the diversity of fourth generation K-pop's global dominance. But for Enhypen specifically, the US tour finale proves they're not just one of the promising groups. They're already at the table with the top players. From Coachella to sold-out stadiums, Enhypen have shown what it means to rise fast and rise strong. Their finale in Los Angeles wasn't just the end of a tour leg, it was a declaration that they're here to stay. So, what do you think? Has Enhypen proven themselves as one of the top fourth-gen acts in the West? Or is their real test still ahead with Europe and Asia? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it.